Starting with the ones that were okay category is a movie that proves that Disney does a really bad job of picking movies that have to be historically accurate. The movie Hercules, for what it's worth, isn't that bad of a movie. I mean, if someone knew nothing of Greek mythology and thought that this movie wasn't just coming from the original source, but actually was the original source, then they'd probably think it deserves to be one of the greatest Disney classics. It is, some people just refuse to accept it. To be fair, Greek myths can be a bit harsh. I mean, everybody knows that Zeus liked to fool around with mortal women, so in the movie they only show him with Hera, who in the movie they play off as a lot nicer than she usually is in Greek myth, which is being a tyrannical nutcase as a result of Zeus being a total player. But what people really don't know is that the love interest in the movie, Meg, actually is Hercules' first wife in Greek myth. But they also don't know that Hera, because of her tyrannical nutcase side, gave Hercules Shining Syndrome, so he ends up killing her. Yeah, look it up. But that doesn't really appeal to audiences. So what does Disney do? Only show the happy moments, and they sprinkle those happy moments with pixie dust, sunshine, and rainbows. With what the story originally was, and with what the story had to be in order to keep it appealing to the audience, Disney did get pretty close, which is why the critics gave it a 77% with 6.8 out of 10 stars. For me, the movie's not that bad. I mean, it has some good animation, some pretty decent voice acting.
You know, I haven't been this choked up since I got a hunk of moussaka caught in my throat. Huh?
James Woods. Best villain voice ever. Few things, though, that I didn't like about the movie is how everybody in the movie keeps their original Greek name instead of their Roman name, except for the male lead himself. Yeah, his real name is Heracles, not Hercules. That and the main villain Hades just has the same old villain plan to just take over the world.
Yes, always.
At least Ursula wanted to take over the sea. The next film on the list sort of disproves the previously stated theory, but also adds to the theory that Disney can take any animal and give it a human mind, but still be able to retain the savage instincts. The movie Dinosaur came out in 2000, but has graphics that make it look like it was the inspiration for Avatar. No, the good one. Yeah, that one. The good one. The reason why this movie sort of disproves the theory that Disney does a really bad job of making movies that have to be historically accurate is because in this movie, they didn't have to be historically accurate. No one really knows what happened with the dinosaurs. They didn't know if they actually did have love triangles or quarrels over who gets to lead the herd. So Disney could have done whatever they wanted with it. They could have created a colorful little story that in reality doesn't resemble the dinosaurs in any way whatsoever. Oh, don't even get me started. But instead, Disney just goes with their usual plan of adding human morals in there, but this time they saved more room for the savage instincts. The critics gave this movie 65% with 5.9 out of 10 stars, because while the animation and the music is of excellent quality, the plotline is a bit dry. I mean, an egg gets lost and is sent throughout a journey of divine intervention and extenuating circumstances, and he lives through it. Then he's found and raised by these lemur pre-evolutionary monkeys. Then when the meteor hits, they have to leave their home, and then they're joined with the random herd that is on their way to the nesting ground. That's it. You know, there's no double agent that's going to betray them. There's no, rising climax in terms of taking over the herd. That's it. They just join the herd, and then he leads them on to the nesting ground. That's it. But then again, maybe if they had more screen time of the crazy monkey, they would have done better. Well, guys, we've reached that point.
Rock bottom.
Yeah. Only one movie is classified in the crash and burn category because out of all the Disney Renaissance films, this one did the worst. And looking back on it now, Yeah, it really did. But for those of you who aren't looking back on it right now, you're gonna totally hate me for saying this. Oh, it's Pocahontas. I know, right? Pocahontas is at the bottom of the list for several reasons. Reason number one, the animation. It is dull and boring. I mean, it's not really TV show quality like some Disney movies have. Its style is just off, you know? Who has lips like that? Whatever, their choice. Second reason, the story. You can have this wonderful little love story about how the girl's the native and then the guy comes to her land, but then they fall in love. That's a good love story. But instead they add this almost surreal, somber outlook on it that's supposed to leave an impression, but they make it too somber for us to get the impression. And then they throw in this Casablanca-like ending. You know, save that for Humphrey. There are some good points in the movie, but it basically just goes back to the only good song in the entire movie, and that's Colors of the Wind.
Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned?
The lyrics are beautiful, the music is very catchy, the art direction is so pretty, and the storyboard throughout the song matches the theme very well. That and John Smith's character was played by Mel Gibson. That's just an automatic win. But really, those two things are really the only factors that are keeping this movie from being a 0 instead of a 54% with 6 out of 10 stars. It had good potential, but Disney should just stick to writing their own original plot lines instead of having to be historically accurate. And if they do have to be historically accurate, they have to sugarcoat the entire movie. So for what it's worth, Disney does have some pretty good movies if they use their own original plot lines. Disney also has some okay movies if they sugarcoat stories from recorded history. But then Disney also has their side of movies that can crash and burn if they already take a summer story and just give it a surreal outlook. Yeah, that was just a fail. Sorry. So, I guess Disney gets a 2 out of 3 on this one, and that's not that bad. I have always loved Disney movies. They've taught me all the little inconspicuous life lessons that they intended to. Like, beauty is only skin deep. Sometimes you gotta make some really difficult choices. Always listen to your parents. Sure, go with that. What it means to be a hero. What it means to be a leader. And yeah, that I couldn't find a life lesson in that. No, sorry. Don't worry, guys. I do realize that the movies in this review aren't all of the movies from the Disney Renaissance. In an effort to save time and in an effort to save paper in my essay and not get points taken off for having too many pages, don't ask, I just chose 6 of the 11 movies that I had already classified into all 3 categories. Don't worry, though. I have my own YouTube channel now, so I will, in fact, be classifying all 11 of them, and eventually all 30 of the original Disney classics. And as time goes on, if I'm still interested in doing this, I will eventually get on to reviewing each individual movie. So I'm the nostalgic nincompoop. I remember things because I have to, not want to. Deuces!